Hello to my fellow history fans and people with curious minds that just like to learn. I am author Eileen Schnabel, author of the Cap Westgard Time Travel to the American Revolution series, and we are on day 2 of the Professor Noggin series, specifically The War Starts. The question: the battles of Lexington and Concord were the first battles of the Revolution. Who was forced to retreat? And the answer is the British. This is a big deal because the British are considered the most powerful army in the world, and they are forced to retreat from rebels. So a quick update, if you remember, they're coming from Boston, and they're going to get to Concord, where they're going to take all of the rebels' store of weapons, or so they hope. Didn't turn out. Along the way, they get to Lexington, and that's the first standoff. That is the shots heard round the world where this skirmish happens. So I'm going to read you just a tiny little passage about that. So it says, the British drums beat ceasefire again and again. Finally, the crackling shots slowed and then ended. Puffs of wind cleared the smoke. A tiny boy raced across the grass and laid his head on a fallen man, wailing, "Pa, pa." On one side of the square, triumphant redcoats shouted, "Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah," as their officers shoved them into formation. Kep choked back rage. The shooting had ended, but he didn't feel safe. He didn't know when he'd ever feel safe again. They needed to get away from this place. When he crept forward, straining to see their horses, a nearby voice sounded, "Examine my horse. He's been hit." Kep jerked back. The British commander was standing not 20 feet away. "Send for reinforcements. We have kicked a hornet's nest." Another officer scurried forward. "We need to turn back, sir. These people, they will not submit. They'll be sending out messengers. There'll be even more of them facing us at Concord. It'll be a bloodbath." "We are not turning back. Check my blasted horse." So they don't turn back, and it was probably a mistake in hindsight. So from the book Where They Fell, this is by Tim Newark, there's an actual letter from a British soldier who was there at Concord. He writes, he wrote this letter back to his family. "On a hill near Concord was assembled a number of people, rebel militia, about 700. They were prepared for us, being all loaded with powder and ball. We then halted and looked at them, as cocks might do on a pit before they fight. But it was not our business to wait long looking, so we fixed our bayonets and immediately charged up the hill in order to disperse them. But we were greatly mistaken, for they were not to be dispersed easily. The whole of them gave a smart fire. The rebels fired so constantly from the hill, from the backs of stone walls and out of houses, so smart upon us that we were glad to retreat as fast as possible to Boston." So the retreat itself is a nightmare for the British. There is almost 18 miles they have to get back, and there are rebels along both sides ambushing them the entire way back. They finally escape back to Boston with the Patriots on their heels, and then starts the siege of Boston. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me share, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.